Oh yay! Oh yay! Oh yay! And a welcome to Seaford citizens and your guests to this event this evening in Seaford's very own pub and restaurant. Last year it was my sad duty to ask you to stand in memory of those who had lost their lives in Manchester. Whilst not forgetting that anniversary, we can this year celebrate a new achievement for Sussex, as we are now in the Dukedom of Sussex. Not Duchy. Duchy is reserved for Wales, Cornwall and Lancaster. But a celebration of putting Sussex on the map as the Dukedom of Sussex. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, you will be celebrating the achievements of some of your citizens. You will be hearing about achievements and successes in the last year and crystal ball gazing about the municipal year to come. Your hosts this evening include your town clerk, your former and current young mayors, and your former and current mayor, who happens to be the same person, Councillor Linda Wall-Raven. Before I hand over to the capable hands of the mayor, may I just tell you that there is an addition to my cries given around Seaford these days, because I usually remember to end up with, "This is Seaford." It's good here, isn't it? God save the Queen!
Thank you, Peter, and what a rousing welcome. And thank you, everybody, for coming this evening. Just some housekeeping rules. We're hoping there won't be a fire and the fire drill, but if the fire alarm does go off, because of the works to the building, I've been told that if you assemble out on the green to my left here, so you've got a fire exit there, or you can, there's another fire exit around the other side of the bar. I think also don't use the lift if there is a fire. Thank you. And can I ask if everybody can put their mobile phones and on silent, please. The next item on the agenda is the adoption of the 2017 Town Forum Minutes. Can I have a proposer and seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Brown. Councillor Freeman, thank you. And can I have a show of hands of all those in favour, please? Thank you. There's a slight alteration in the run of things on the agenda tonight, and because the Seaford Musical Theatre youngsters need to leave early, they are going to come on next. So we have a performance by the Seaford Musical Young Theatre. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're from Seaford Musical Theatre, the Barn Theatre just down the road, and we're delighted to be here today. I've actually stolen these two young ladies from their rehearsal, so I've got to return them, but I will be telling you more about the Barn Theatre and the support that we got from Seaford Town Council a little bit later. But they're going to sing you a song. They've given out some flyers. That's actually for our adult show over the 2 weekends in the middle of June. But these young ladies who are playing Munchkins in that show, actually had the option to audition for their own show as well, where they could play all of the characters. And these were the two young ladies we chose to be Dorothy. They're going to be doing it on the 3rd weekend of June. This is Evie and this is Holly. They'll be playing on Saturday and Sunday the role of Dorothy. So I'm going to hand you this microphone, which is a bit scary, don't worry. I'd like to point out that the new young mayor is also in the chorus of the adult show, so please do come along and see him. And girls, don't forget to smile. I'm going to just pop down here and play you this song. Oh, no, I won't. Okay.
Thank you very much. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Right, and now I hand over to our past young mayor for 2017-18. Tom.
Thank you, Linda. So I'm just going to, it's a pleasure to obviously speak to you this evening about the year in the life of Seaford Young Mayor. So I'm just going to go through what the project was this year, what we've done, the events we've attended, events we've gone to, lots of projects to be able to come to the project. So I think we'll just have a bit of technical. Right. No, it wouldn't. There we go. So, lovely. Okay. So I'm just going to go through what I've done this year as young mayor to fundraise for the project that we will be doing. So, a year in the life is the young mayor of Seaford. Doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Great start to a meeting. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the project which I fundraised for this year. The project was to raise £10,000 for a wheelchair accessible swing for the Souls Playground in Seaford. And we fundraised through raffles, through events, through all different ways. It was just going to be a few sort of combos at the start, and it turned out to be a fully blown festival, so we'll go on to that a bit later. The planning phase of the swing began, and the installation will happen just after, it's happened just after August, so hopefully in the start of June, the installation and the swing will be installed for young people to see. So the swing itself was a piece of play equipment to allow children who use wheelchairs to be able to experience play like a normal child. It was thought in the results survey that was did, that why were children in wheelchairs not thought of when it came to play. So it's something that I took upon myself to go, which is something we need in Seaford as we large now. So it provides stimulation incentives for all children who are disabled. It's a really important piece of equipment. In terms of fundraising, we've done numerous events, which I'm just going to share with you in case you haven't been able to attend or you haven't seen about them. The first event I did was August 2017 with Summer Magic. We had over 2,000 people on the day. We raised £2,500 for the project. We had an on-site pop-up restaurant for local people and dignitaries to be able to buy tickets. We had a live music programme, we had fun fair, we had catering, we had over 20 stalls. And not even I knew you could organise a whole festival from a bedroom, so that was quite an experience for me. It was a really fantastic day, and weather was over 26 degrees, which is brilliant, so it was a lovely day. I've also done 3 coach trips this year in my year as young mayor. The first coach trip I did was to Cream Tea on the Bluebell Railway. We had 89 people on this trip. We had 2 full coaches, Cream Tea on the Bluebell. It was a coach excursion where customers would serve Cream Tea on board. Thank you to my family who helped the Cream Tea this Saturday. We raised over £300 for the cause, and it was a fun full day. Everyone enjoyed themselves, but it was a brilliant day. Did another trip, which is to Chichester's Christmas Market, where 49 people came on this trip. It was to Chichester's Christmas Market at the back. It was a lovely day, actually. It was cold but lovely. They had tea and coffee on board, so it was a nice experience, and it raised over £200 for the cause again. The largest coach trip, which was to Hampton Court Palace, which we had 32 people on. It was a return trip to Hampton Court Palace. It included a full English breakfast, full supper, and breakfast on the coach, so it was brilliant. The day was beautiful, and that raised over £400 for the cause, so it was a really worthwhile day. And everyone who came, including Linda and lots of other mayors from the local towns, had a really lovely day. Now, the Blackington branch, which I know some of you may know, have raised £480 for me as young mayor. We'll talk more about this a bit later, but the money came from ticket sales and the cakes of Jan, who's in the audience tonight. They're absolutely amazing cakes. So we thank them for raising £480 for the cause. Pantomime raffle, we raised £500 over 2 nights. Raffle at Pantomime in Orphiston. Donated back to prizes, people got tickets, so thank you to everyone who donated a prize. Creed Youth Centre, we run their competition, £200 was raised for that, and an extra £200 to pop. And there was a church that did some pizza and games fundraising, and that added another £200. So people have been really supportive. We did Christmas Magic, where we sold hot chocolate for people of Seaford on a really cold day. It was beautiful, and that raised £180. And my wonderful mum ran the Olympic distance triathlon for me in summer last year, and she raised over £100 doing that. She's still here today, don't worry. She didn't think she was going to make it, but she did. We also did loads of civic events this year, and it's been great to attend so many events with Linda and her consort Liz. It's been an amazing year. I've met such amazing people along the way who I never thought I'd meet. And we had a lovely afternoon tea celebration at the end of my town office a couple of weeks before. We invited guests to celebrate my year as young mayor. It was lovely. It was a lovely afternoon. We enjoyed guests such as Maria Corporal, local mayors, and the dignitaries. It was a really nice afternoon just to say thank you. So in conclusion, I'm not going to read you all this. I just wanted to read a little bit out, which I can't quite remember. I just wanted to say that it was my mission in my year as young mayor, and I set out in my original campaign assembly before voting to extinguish that almost cloud over young people in Seaford, that they're all this bad and nasty, they've all got these tags, when actually our young people in Seaford can do such amazing things. And I believe that through the work we've done this year with the school and retirement homes, to be able to bring the 2 generations together, the divide between old and young has got less and less. And that's what I really want to say this year. So that's my year, what's going to be done, and obviously the swing's still in progress. So that's it, and I just wanted to say thank you for everyone in this room, thank you to the council for the support you've given me. It's been an amazing year, so thank you very much.
Tom, you've certainly been an inspiration to all young people of our town, and it just shows what young people of our town can achieve. Well done. I now hand over to our current young mayor, Dom.
I haven't got a fancy PowerPoint like Tom set up. I've just got a small little speech to say what I'm going to do for this year. Hello everyone, I'm Dom Avey and I'm the new young mayor. I'm really looking forward to this upcoming year of being Seaford's young mayor, and Tom has done a great job during his year with his wheelchair, swing, his activity, and I've learned a lot from him this year, which has really helped me for this upcoming year. I'm a keen drama student at Seaford Head School, and one of my campaigns for this year is to raise much needed funds for the arts department at school. They have recently used a big chunk of their funds to buy a new stage, and which has left basically the whole arts department severely underfunded for books, music instruments, costumes, all the stuff that we need for a production. I'm really hoping to host many charity events through my year to help put money back into the school's arts department. My deputy, James Jenkins, who isn't here, who's in Unite, and we're both really looking forward to working together through this year. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dom, and I'm sure you'll have an amazing year. Now I hand back to Tom, who is going to do the Young Mayor's Awards.
Thank you, Linda. Sorry, you've got me again for another few minutes, so I haven't gone away quite yet. I did 2 awards this year. I was going to do some more, but I sort of narrowed it down to 2. And these awards are for 3 amazing people. One is a shared award. And the first one I'm going to announce to you today is for Janet Daines and Martin Murdoch from the Blatchington Branch Railway, who have raised £480 for me, and since the railway's opening have raised a staggering over £6,000 for charity, all for really good causes. The railway runs for such a good cause, and over 150 people visit each weekend, which I went on the calculator and calculated that over 2,700 people must have been carried on that railway. So it's brilliant to have such an amazing, people support me really, and have such people in Seaford really. It's amazing to think that young people can really bring sort of young people to life. That seeing a little child turning up screaming goes away with a smile on his face, because he's had a lovely day out on the railway in beautiful sunshine, and they do so much for young people in Seaford. So I just wanted to say thank you to them for raising so much money for everyone, and just really helping the campaign by giving that £480 donation. So I've got your award here if you'd like to come up and receive your award.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to say how proud we are to know Tom, because he's a real star for young people these days. As I said, we hear so many bad news stories. He's excellent. You're going to make 1 or 2 mistakes in your life. I hope you do, because otherwise you've not done anything.
Thank you very much, that was lovely. My second award this evening goes to someone who is my age, who is 16 and receives the Courage Award. His name's Brandon, he's in my year at school, and we're in the middle of our GCSEs at the minute. But although Brandon has difficulty with getting on with things because he's in a wheelchair, that doesn't necessarily mean that it limits what he does. He's such a courageous person. I don't think I could do it, just get on with it and go through my GCSEs and just have the courage and just to have nothing defeat me in life like Brandon has done. He shows such enthusiasm at school. He loves to talk about what he talks about, and Do you know what, Brandon? You have some very interesting conversations sometimes. But do you know what? They're funny and they make me laugh. So my second award tonight goes to Brandon for the hard work he puts in, for the amazing achievement that he does, and for just getting on with it. So Brandon. That's me done now, I promise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. I'm sure it's not the last we hear of you. Right, now I'm going to hand over to James, our town clerk, who will do the presentation.
Right, good evening everyone. You always give me the job of following kids who were amazing. I don't stand much chance really. I've had to do it for a whole year after you, so I'm having a so. Every council meeting comes along and then I have to do my bit. It's really hard. Thank you for coming everyone tonight. I just want to do a quick whistle-stop tour through what the Town Council has done this year. We do have a strategic plan. Just a little bit of background to our history there. We adopted a new strategic plan in 2016. We then set about recruiting the right staff for the right jobs so we could deliver that plan. And the key thing as well is we have a good programme of training for our councillors. I should emphasise the town councillors are all unpaid. We recently did a statistics on the attendance at council meetings, and the average attendance is 86% of all meetings. But if you add on to that, every single councillor I know does an awful lot more outside of the meetings than they do in the meetings. So there's some amazing volunteers for the town, which they do for the good of the town. So every one of them deserves a pat on the back. That's all 20. So we started acting on the strategic plan over the last couple of years, and we've delivered some of the objectives within that in the last year. I'm going to quickly run through these. Some of the things we do is facilitate Christmas magic, and obviously this year's Christmas magic was the best one ever, I believe. That was the feedback we had from people who were there anyway. So that was a great success, and that's one of our strategic plans, is to continue doing that every year, as is to have at least 25 events in the Martello Fields. We actually achieved 42 last year, so we did very well. Such as Motorfesta at the back, we have them there this year, so that'll be a good event to go to. We managing the concessions on the seafront, that was something we needed to do, which it's quite a technical thing, but we wanted to, as a town council, manage how many there is on the seafront. That gift actually lay with Lewis District, but they delegated it to us, so we can now manage the number of concessions on the seafront, so we don't have too many, and all of them have a viable business. And you might have noticed there's a couple of new ones appeared in the last few months. So you now have a fish and chip shop on the seafront, and what's it called? Crepes. That's it, thank you. Crepes on the seafront. And we also are going to have someone who's going to do seawater and activities from the concession as well. Other things that we haven't progressed yet is the brown sign scheme. That's happening soon. Because one of the key things we've learned is that people coming into the town is essential for the shops to survive in the town. So we need to bring people into the town, and it's amazing how many people in places like Brighton, who I talk to, say to me, yeah, I've been to Seaford, I've driven down the 259, but I haven't been anywhere else. And we need to draw those into the town centre to use the businesses and to other things as well. So the brown sign scheme is aimed to do that. Entertainment area at the Martello Tower, again, that's part of the entertainment strategy on the seafront. as was beach huts on the seafront, which we introduced 20 this year. So that's from Christmas Magic. That's one of our events, although that's not last year, that's the year before because it was washed out. That's the Armed Forces Day, which is a big success that we have every year. Lord Lieutenant comes along, as you can see. And maybe we'll get a Royal representative next time. And that's one of the concessions that we have now on the seafront. The Salty Seahorse, who does the fish and chips on the seafront, and the new beach huts at Bonningstead, which were installed over the last 12 months as well. So other things we want to do is improve the environment of the town. That's partly the creation of the Seafront Development Plan, which is on our website if anyone wants to have a look at that. And then managing Seaford Head Nature Reserve in accordance with that management plan, and improving the seafront of Seaford and tree planting, which we do largely in partnership with the tree wardens, and Keith Blackburn, who's the chairman of that here tonight. He's here as many hats as he was telling me on the phone today. Well, we were discussing on the phone, but that's one of them. Seaford Head Nature Reserve, we've actually transferred the lease of that to Sussex Wildlife Trust now, so they have a lot more expertise in nature reserves than we do. So they now manage that on our behalf. We pay them an annual fee to do that, and we support them in that as well. So that's working really well. We've got the expertise there, and the warden, who's just in the background there, Sarah Quantrill, she does an excellent job of looking after the nature reserve for us, along with the backup support at Sussex Wildlife Trust. On the Seafront Development Plan, we've started doing things. This was largely thanks to Sylvia Dunn, who's here tonight. We were able to put in the new telescope on the seafront, which is one of the things in the Seafront Development Plan. That was donated by Rampion, the wind turbines. Does everyone know what Rampion is, by the way? Rampion is the county flower of Sussex, for those who didn't know. That's why it's called the Rampion wind turbine. So that was another good project. And this is the much talked about Martello toilets. We're always being asked when are they going to come. Unsurprisingly, because the existing ones, talking to a resident who's been here for 64 years recently, he told me they needed replacing 50 years ago. And they smelled 50 years ago as well. So there is an inherent problem in the design of the existing toilets, which we're aware of. So these new ones include 2 concessions, together with a central area where people can sit indoors, and also a sheltered seat, because that was something a lot of people asked for. And this will be developed, hopefully, this year, but it is subject to us getting money in. So we need money in from capital sales, which could be more of the beach huts that we're already selling, or it could be a couple of parcels of land that we're selling as well. So once we have the money in the account, we'll press the button and they'll be built. We're hoping they're going to be done in October, which will fit in with end of the holiday season. Improving the recreation facilities. So we want to regenerate the salts in line with the development plan. Again, there's a plan on our website if you want to have a look at that. And also get a plain pitch strategy for the town. That's important because it helps us defend plan applications, having that. It also helps us get funding to improve the existing playing facilities in the town, the sports fields. We're working in partnership with Lewis District Council to make that happen, and eventually something is happening on that, I'm pleased to say. So one of the first phases of the salt improvement was the new area, which we put in last year, which is very popular obviously, but there is more to come. The skate park, that is the design that was adopted after consultation with skaters in the town. We're waiting for the funding coming through for that. It's coming from, it's a technical thing called 106 funding. It comes from housing development, and that'll be coming from the development opposite the train station. And once that money's in our bank account, together with a small grant application that we've put in for, we'll be able to press the green button and go ahead, because we've already announced selections and everything. So we're ready to go with that as soon as we have the money. That will be in the location of the existing skate park, where the existing one is. We're looking at things like a splash zone as well in the park, which I think will be very popular. That's something that came back in the feedback from young people, that would really like to see something like that in the park. Again, that'll come with the funding, so we're hoping to have that in place this year. We have to look for the funding. It's not something we've got sat in the bank, unfortunately. To represent the needs of the community, I think this is one of the most important things a town or parish council can do for its local community. I've been involved in parish and town councils for over 20 years, and I've seen the parish and town councils do things for their community and represent their needs that you would never get from your district council or your county council, because we only have to think about the people in Seaford and nowhere else. So we make representations on every planning decision in the town. The council, as I mentioned earlier, will come along to the planning committee every 3 weeks, come along. They spend a lot of time looking at the applications beforehand, a lot of them go on site visits, look around, all for free, as I say. And then they make the representations on planning applications. Some of them can be just a small application, but others can be huge, like the Newlands one, which we, as a town council, objected to the number of properties there because we felt it was too many. The original idea was over 300. The approval ended up being about 183 units, so the district council did approve it, but they brought down the number a lot after we made representations. And there's also going to be a football field in there, returned for the town as well, with changing rooms. So it does help. That was the meeting we had in here for the Newlands application, so we had a lot of people come along to have the say about Newlands. Neighbourhood plan is another part of our armoury to protect the town. And again, Keith Blackburn's here, who's chairman of that. The people involved in that have done an amazing job. The hours they've put in is incredible. I should mention Charlie Grimmel, who I know is not here because he's on holiday, but he's done some amazing work to find housing spaces in the town without taking up green spaces. If you want to have a look at what they're doing, have a look at their website, you'll see what's happening. They are arm's length, working for the town council, but they're all volunteers and doing a brilliant job. And Keith mentioned today that he will be calling me more going forward. So I look forward to that, Keith. But hopefully that will happen in the next year. We'll have that adopted. And that protects the town in terms of development. It stops too many houses coming to town. We do have to take so many. That's in the national plan. We can't stop that. But we can limit how many we take through the neighbourhood plan. And that's why we're doing it. Practice good governance. You'd expect this of us, so we need to make sure that we get a good audit, which we have done all the way through the last 4 years. We have a full suite of policies in place, so we're transparent and people can see what we're about. All of our policies are on the website. If you want to see anything that we have a policy on, it's all there. We did notice that that's quite unique. There's not many councils do that. We're very transparent and open, so we have them all there. We take action on the internal audit recommendations. We always fulfil all of those recommendations. We want to generate money from capital sales, as I mentioned earlier. That's so that we can keep the council tax down, but bring in money to spend on the targets that have just gone through without increasing your council tax. Making financial savings, we did that. We're looking to do that again this year. Make a golf course profit of 30k, we just did that. Achieve a view profit of 30k, we've improved, but we're not there yet. It is happening, it's slow, but it will happen eventually. And we've just adopted a new business plan for the view, which shows how we can eventually get this into profit, but also we can have accommodation here which will generate hundreds of thousands of pounds of profit eventually, which will be good for all taxpayers in the town. So the key activities completed this year. Seafront Development Plan was adopted. We started work on it. The show, again in partnership with Seaford Community Partnership in particular, is a great project. We've had hundreds of people wanting to buy a fish, a sprat, a mackerel, wherever they are. And we're still getting people ringing up now, but it's sold out apart from the larger blacks. That's been a huge success. And we have the official opening on Bank Holiday Monday coming, 11:30. So if you want to come along, the Lord Lieutenant's coming along. Should be a good time, and there's lots of stalls going to be there as well, activity around that, so it's a good event to come to. We did some land sale, which was the Holt, a little bit of open space that we didn't really use, and that was £170,000 came in from that. Neighbourhood plan is progressing really well. As I say, we've taken that forward so much. It's an incredible amount of work that's gone into that, and I've got to take my hat off to everybody involved in that. We completed the View business plan that I mentioned earlier, which shows how we can bring this into a big profit for the town eventually. And we increased our commercial income to 1.68 million. I will mention that again in a minute, because that is a big figure. Our precept, the money we get from taxpayers, is 679,000. So we get far more from commercial activity than we do from the taxpayers of the town. That's the show, which I'm sure most of you have seen, which is brilliant. So what we're going to do going forward? Well, once the land sale or capital receipts are income, we'll progress with the seafront development plan further. We'll build the Martello toilets. There will be some more beach huts eventually. Eventually there will be 60 beach huts. The skate park hopefully will happen with the money coming from the 106 funding. We hope the neighbourhood plan will be completed in the next year. Keith's nodding, so that's good. We'll complete the strategic plan review, review where we are with everything that we've been doing. We'll be looking at log cabins and pots up here, as I mentioned, as part of the neighbourhood plan, and submitting a plan application for those. And we'll progress the soils development plan further as well, so we'll see more improvements in the soils this year. That's just a quick sketch of the seafront, and we have time, so I won't go through that. We are, as I mentioned, getting the water sports concession on the seafront very soon. The person who's doing that he's put his application in, so we fingers crossed that'll happen in the next few weeks. A couple of things. Did you know that the town council tax, apart from the Rocky and Flower, this one, is the lowest in the district for a town council, Seafords. It's possibly the lowest in Sussex. We can't find one that's as low. There might be one, but we haven't found it. Bandy in Seaford is £73.14. Compare that with Lewis, it's £205.95. New Haven's £154. So we are massively less than similar town councils in the area. We also, as a town council, generate more income from commercial sources than any other town council in the country. So that's some achievement to do that. And that's through a lot of activities that people do in the office, as well as the people here at the View and at the golf course. They're doing a great job of bringing in income. Eventually that's grown as well. Our projections show that's going to grow, and it will give us more money to then spend in the town to do more projects for the town. So it can only be good for Seaford. Just a little figure is that the town council now, directly or indirectly, employs 50 people, making it one of the biggest local employees in the town. I should say we still only have 8 full-time equivalents in the office now. I saw someone refer to us as bean counters the other day, so I thought I'd mention that. So we do have just the 8 in the office. The vast majority of people outside delivering services, whether it be cleaning toilets, looking after the golf course, which has just got a 5-star rating independently, regarded as one of the best in Sussex. There's a Facebook site, Sussex Golfer, rated the best in Sussex recently. So we're doing a lot right. It is going well. Just in case you're obviously here, but there's a lot you can use this place for. Hirons, come up for your Sunday lunch, comedy club, jazz club, lots of other things going on up here. And the good thing is every penny you spend here is saving on your council tax. So make sure you spend as much as you can. So that's me. I think I've got 5 minutes for questions, hopefully. If anyone's got any questions, please ask me, and I'll try and answer as best I can.
I'm not sure if you covered this earlier, but I think there's a deadline of the 29th for objections to the developments at Tyne Hill. Is that correct? That would be a deadline set by East. Are you about the cement works? You know, it's so vague. That's something else that I'd like to get.
Right.
There's 3 different developments. They
Yeah.
have different contacts. I'm just wondering, there's a deadline on the 29th. We made our submission on the cement works some time ago. That's with East Sussex County Council, that application. They're the ones that decide on that. The other issues that are going on, there's also the proposal for an incinerator in New Haven. That's being dealt with by Lewis District at the moment. I know looking at that through the Environmental Health Department to see what the impact will be if that were to be given plan permission.
Isn't that going to get tide mills as well, though?
No, not at tide mills. There's no planning at tide mills happening in terms of exact.
Just the cement works at tide mills.
Well, the cement works is technically outside, but I agree it's very close.
It's that roped off bit towards
Yeah.
the end of tide mills.
Yeah,
When
that's-
you walk down the bottom.
That's where it's proposed. That's with East Sussex County Council.
And is the flyover going to be where the car park is down there, where people walk in from the A259? Is that what the proposed flyover is?
No. The flyover is in Newhaven. It's not in Seaford. It's down the back of B&Q, that area.
But the trucks will be coming into that end of tide.
No.
Well, that roped off bit that's down by the port.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trucks don't go through tide mills. The designation area for tide mills, it's in the national park.
Yeah, but at the moment, there's a taped off bit
Right.
down there, which my understanding is
Yeah.
where the cement works are proposed to go. Is that incorrect?
No, I think you need to go on the East Sussex County Council website. The plan application's on there, and you can see the perimeter of what is proposed.
It's the Seaford side of the port, isn't it? It's not the Newhaven side.
No, but it's in Newhaven. But we've done ours.
Outside land-wise, it's
Yeah.
our side.
It is, yes. We've objected.
So if you walk past the sailing club, it's a 5 minute. Well, I think it's just even confused where it is. If you walk past the sailing club, it's 5 minutes down towards where the ferry comes in. It's
Yeah.
down there. So it is on the Seaford side, although it's classed as Newhaven.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But if you look at the plan on the Newhaven website, the East Sussex website, you'll see the plan and details on there of where everything is proposed. But the cement works was turned down, the actual cement works. The rest of it was, I think that's still in abeyance, I'm not sure where that is.
So what is still being proposed?
Do you want to talk to me after the meeting? I think there's other people who want to ask questions. Yeah.
It's likely to come up that particular in the June East Sussex County Council planning meeting, so that's what you need to keep an eye on. It's likely to come up then on
Thank you.
Thank you.
20th of June.
Any other questions, anyone? Yeah, sorry.
James, why does 106 money take so long to come through?
The law is that the 106 money is payable upon the first occupation of the development. So when the first resident moves in, the developer is supposed to then pay the money to the planning authority, which is Lewis District, and they will then pay it to us. We believe, I don't know, Tony might be able to advise me differently at the back, we believe that the first occupant is now in that development, so the money should be getting paid very soon, and we are asking when is the money coming. But it's not until the first person moves in that they have to pay the money. Yeah, so we've just got to wait until it comes, but we are on the phone asking when it's coming. Sorry? Yeah? Yes?
Yes, can I just ask how far you've got to getting rid of all the scaffolding?
Okay, this is one of those things where we represent the views of the town council, the town. We don't do it. It is a planning authority matter, which is Lewis District. But to be fair to them, they have done all the legal you can do, which is serve a 215 notice on the developer. But the developer has the right to appeal against that notice, which demanded it be took down by, I think it was last week. He could appeal, and if he appeals, it goes to the magistrates' court. But it doesn't have to be taken down until the magistrates have decided on his appeal. Now, anyone who's involved with the courts will tell you that would take months. Unfortunately, the law of the land doesn't give the planning authority many teeth to do much more beyond that, so it's really difficult to get any progress on that. All we can do behind the scenes is continue to press the developer to actually do something, but the law is actually on his side and not on the planning authority, which seems very perverse, but that's the way it is, unfortunately. So, yeah.
You recently did a press release in the Sussex Express Friday regarding reminding residents of the particular ban on the seafront between the summer period, which is May and September. But it goes from Frankie's up to the sorts of just beyond that.
Yeah.
Is there any reason why it isn't the whole of the seafront? Because up by the Martello, where the toilets are, it's extremely busy, and some dogs that have been off the lead have actually caused a few problems with food when people are there picnicking, especially in the hot weather. So is there any way you could work with Lewis or Eastbourne to extend that just in the summer? A dog's on a lead, not the ban.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it does seem strange to me looking at that bylaw that that's what it says. The only way that can be changed is by actually doing a new bylaw for the beach, which isn't a 5-minute task. They do usually take about 6 months to do. I am told we've speeded them up with some changes, but we will look at that, I think. We'll see what feedback we get. It is something that's mentioned occasionally. I wouldn't say it's something that's mentioned a lot, but it is something that's mentioned occasionally, and obviously as the seafront gets busier, then probably it'll become more of a problem. So I do agree with you. It does seem very strange.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Shall we move on? Yeah. There will be time for questions at the end if anyone wants to ask any questions on anything that's discussed tonight, or if anyone wants to buttonhole me at the end of the meeting, I'll be around to be buttonholed. But thank you all for your patience, and thank you for coming.
James. I'm now going to do a first Mayor's Award because this person has having to go very shortly because her husband's not well. So, right, the first award goes to Ken and Julie Jupp. Ken and Julie Jupp have spent years in organising the poppy collections in Seaford for the Royal British Legion. A lot of work is involved from getting the boxes to collectors, outlets and shops, ordering the many poppy wreaths, Remembrance Sunday, organising a rota of volunteers for the poppy stand in Morrison's and much, much more. So I'd like to present Julie with my first award. Thank you. Wish Ken well. He's also heavily involved with the Armed Forces Day as well. Right, now we move on to the large grant presentations. And the first one is the Systems of Ice Bureau.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting us to tell you a bit about our work. I'm slightly daunted because the presentations have all been so fantastic, but let me just run through what we do. We are an independent charity. A lot of people think we're government funded, but we're not. We get no direct government grants. Our major funder is Lewis District Council, and then we get funding from the town and parish councils. So the funding we get from your council is really, really important to us. We provide free confidential advice to people on any problem and every problem they face. The population of Lewis District is over 100,000, and those are potentially all our clients. We have main offices in Lewis, Newhaven and Seaford, and we run outreach services in Peacehaven, Telston Cliffs and also the Seahaven Food Bank in Seaford. Those are services mainly run by volunteers, but we also have paid staff who do specialist services like welfare benefits, casework, and debt casework, and also form filling. And they are all located in our New Haven Bureau. So Seaford residents who need that level of specialist help will come to New Haven for it. In the last year, the 2017-18 financial year, we saw just under 4,000 clients with over 9,000 different problems. And just to give you some idea of the sort of things we cover, we do benefits, debt, housing, legal, employment relationships, and anything you can think of, really. We have a lot of neighbourhood problems, people with problems with their neighbours' hedges, you name it, we can help out with it. In Seaford itself, we saw 660 residents and we helped them with over 1,500 problems. And many of these 663 people would have come more than once. So, top 5 issues, no surprise, the top one is benefits and tax credits. So 665 issues of the 1,500 were of benefits and tax issues, tax credits. Next was debt, 185, housing, employment, and then relationships and family. People are always interested about what we put back into the community, and this figure of 1.2 million, those are the financial gains we help people achieve. So it could be helping them to apply for benefits, or rescheduling their debts, managing their debts, consumer issues where they've been unfairly charged for something, we'll help them recover their loss. And across the whole district, that figure was 1.2 million. And in your community, it was 132,000. So that's money we've helped Seaford residents gain, put back in their pockets, which they'll help spend in the community and in local businesses. This is the profile of the clients we see from Seaford. It's slightly different from other local towns. We see more people at the higher end of the age limit. You can see that, I don't know if you can see at the back, but we see 12% of our clients are over 75, which is really unusual. But it probably fits with the demographic around here. 55% of our clients are female, and 52% have disabilities or long-term health issues. So you can see we really do work with the vulnerable and needy in your community. And I just want to say how much we do appreciate what you do, and please continue supporting us and giving us your money. We really appreciate it, and we like being part of your community. Thank you very much.
The next large grant is the community transport for the Lewes area.
As unaccustomed as I am to a microphone. Yes, you did see me with the theatre earlier, so I remember which badge I'm wearing. So at the moment I'm wearing CTLA, it's community transport for your community. We are sadly the last accessible transport charity in the district. With the closure of the East Sussex Disability Association, ESDA, which we took on their clients last year, pushing us to our maximum on our resources. One in the middle? The bright one. Oh, that makes sense, doesn't it? So, who do we help? CTLA have over 4,000 registered members, and that includes individuals, people in groups, and everybody that we help. And of those members, just under 1 in 6 has a BN25 postcode. So we do like our Seaford people. Now don't hate me for this, but us ladies do make up 66% of our members. Now that is mainly because us ladies know how to look after ourselves and we live longer. The men call us oxygen thieves, but we are longer living. And a lot of our members that we help on CTLA, because we are the only people who can help people with walkers, wheelchairs and mobility problems, a lot of older ladies do rely on CTLA. So we have 141 community groups registered with us. And within those 141 community groups are scouts, everybody, every group you can think of who is a constituted charity can get with us, because it's no longer financially viable for things like scouts, guides, musical theatres to have their own minibus. So we actually help all of the groups in the area, and we're helping 141. But did you know there's over 900 groups and charities within the Lewes district? So we need to reach out and help a lot more of those. Overall, we're looking at delivering over 80,000 passenger journeys in the Lewes district. And I actually had a conversation with a county councillor, because like the CAB, we are not funded by government. We rely on the support of town councils, of fundraisers, and anybody that I can mug to get a pound out of their pocket, basically. We rely on that support. And of those 80,000 passenger journeys, I asked a local county councillor, what was plan B should East Sussex not suddenly have the services of CTLA community transport? And I was told quite firmly, there is no plan B, which chilled me to the bone. We're glad to be here. We offer these services. They are the Four Towns Dial-A-Ride, the South Coast Travel Club, the Community Group Hire, and the Seaford Local Dial-A-Ride, which is very importantly supported by Seaford Town Council. Without the support of the Town Council, that would not happen. Now, our Four Towns Dial-A-Ride is made up of, as you would imagine, the four towns: Seaford, Newhaven, Peacehaven and Telscombe. They help to all part fund a service for people who cannot use public transport. Now, the weird thing is, to me, if you manage to achieve a certain age, you are rewarded by the government with a bus pass. You can get on any bus you like that's travelling up the A259 when it's moving. And don't even go to Peacehaven Town Council at the moment, they're very angry about the housing in the A259. But if you can get on a public transport bus, you can get free transport. And that is worth to you about £2,500 of free transport every year for jumping on a bus. However, if you cannot, due to being in a wheelchair or having mobility problems, being elderly, get to a local bus stop, or at the other end, the destination is too far away from a public transport stop, even if you get to pensionable age, you are not allowed to use your bus pass on community transport. So if you can get to a bus stop, great, you can have a free trip. If you can't, you have to pay for it. And that's where community transport and the support of the Town Council comes in. So today we had a lady ring up from Seaford. You may have seen it on our Facebook page. For 50 years, she's lost touch with a school friend. They were friends well into their 30s, but life and family tore them apart. And now they're both widowers. And they've moved back to Seaford and Saltdean. Now, one is in a wheelchair and cannot get onto a public transport bus. She's tried before, and they've even tried to put the ramp down, and she's too frightened because they go too fast. And the other lady cannot reach a public transport bus stop because of mobility. Without us, without CTLA, they would not have met up again. And I'm delighted to say, for the first time this week, those two ladies in their early 80s have seen each other again for tea, reminiscence and friendship. And they say how lonely they are not being able to get to see each other. We also have a lady in Bishopstone who wanted to just go and see the sea. Now, we're so lucky having the sea here, and we take it for granted. But because she couldn't leave her house without the support of an accessible minibus, she said she might as well have been a million miles away from the sea. She was less than a mile. It was heartbreaking. But these services are what provides a wheels to the world. We have 22 minibuses. Some I've got sticking plaster on, but they still go. We do over 332,000 miles a year, and that's just me in my car doing that. Our team of drivers, of passenger assistants, and of the admin staff, some are part-time workers and some are volunteers, and even the part-time workers give volunteer hours as well. That's our impact on life. Just those couple of stories should probably tell you how valuable accessible transport is and how most of us in here, take for granted jumping into the car and just going to our destination. Thank you very much for listening. If you see our buses whizzing around, do give them a wave. They won't take their hands off the wheel because otherwise I kill them, but do wave at our CTLA buses and do look at supporting us through Facebook and Twitter. And if you've got any questions, I will be around at the end to have a chat with you. Thank you very much.
Laura's birthday today. Happy
Thank you. The next one is Wave Seaford Limited. Took me by surprise there.
This is our new logo. We are Waves Family Support. Nothing to do with Wave Leisure. Completely separate. And as the name says, we support families in Seaford. Our aim is to make a difference to families in Seaford who from time to time face difficult situations which might lead to family breakdown. We were very grateful to receive £3,000 from Seaford Town Council this year, in particular to help us support families with counselling and in running some anger management courses. In the work that we do, we receive referrals from lots of different places, local GPs, schools, churches, all sorts of different places, and sometimes people come in themselves and ask for help. When we're talking about counselling, we use the services of Judy Renahan in the town at the house. Many of the families in Seaford, from time to time, need some support. Lots of our young people and mums and dads suffer from anxiety and depression and something that doctors call low mood. In our primary schools, currently we have in all of the primary schools and in Alfriston Primary School as well, we have listeners who go in each week to support children who are facing difficult situations that they need to talk to somebody about. The early stages of concern, and those problems could lead to future mental health issues. During 2017 and in this current year, we've been running anger management courses. The first one in 2017, we focused on children in years 5 and 6, referred to us by the primary schools, and we ran a very successful course with a local counsellor who, over a period of weeks, met with the children and with a parent to run through the course. The outcomes of this were, as I say, very positive. So we went and visited Seaford Head School and asked if they would like similar for students in years 7 and 8. We had some other money that was given to us by Comic Relief in order to put on those courses. We've had 14 families so far enrolled in those courses. Sadly, not all of the young people completed the courses, but those that did, and the evaluations we've had from them, indicate that the course was very helpful, not just to the students, but to their parents as well, in helping to know the trigger signs when is becoming angry, and how to best diffuse the situation. And our facilitator has also approached Seaford Head School as to how the school as well, the staff at the school, can support the children by knowing what the various different tactics were taught to them. As I said, we've required parents to attend the course as well, and that has proved to be very helpful. We've also continued to support families through counselling. This year we've offered financial support to 10 families. Some of these we found this year have not been able to contribute anything, some not as much as half, and so we've had to pick up the much larger proportion of the costs. We aim to continue to offer anger management courses to children in years 5, 6, 7 and 8, which is quite a crucial time with transition, and that's why we focused on those year groups. And we also want to continue offering counselling support to families in the town who are struggling. Waves is very grateful to lots of different people who support us, local individuals and particularly to Seaford Town Council. As I'm sure many of the organisations who received funding from Seaford Town Council would say, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And the next is Seaford Lifeguards.
I have a small amount I can say, but I'm only the secretary, but I'll come in. Okay. I'm secretary of Seaford Lifeguards. I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years. I'm not very good with microphones, so if you can't hear me, you'll have to shout. These are part of the equipment that have been given the money. Let me get out the words I've got. I wasn't expecting to do this bit. Oh, you've got something like that. Yes. Okay. Seaford Town Council awarded us £1,800, and with this we were able to purchase 20 foul weather jackets to replace our previous ones, which had reached the end of their life. We then used the remaining money, together with other fundraising, towards replacement safety helmets, which you can see on there. They are needed for our inshore rescue boat. Again, our previous helmets were over 12 years old, and so again they reached the end of their working life. Our primary role is to keep beach users safe on Seaford Beach. The right tools and training can help better equip our team of volunteer lifesavers to achieve this. These items have increased our team's safety and comfort, which can only benefit the thousands of beach users, locals and visitors, who will be protected by a well-looked-after team, ready to respond at any time. And of course they are all volunteers. Lastly, we would like to thank Mayor Linda for your continued support and amazing fundraising efforts throughout the year. Here's a photo. Oh, there you are. That looks like Laurie Holland driving, or that could be Pete. They all look like they're holding something, don't they? This is a bit, yes. And they were going on the patrol on the beach recently. So thank you very much for all that you've done for us.
Well done. I must admit, when you're driven along the beach, you see the seafront from a really different aspect, and sort of picked up on things what they're doing. Right. The next large grant is for Seaford community events. Is anybody here representing the Seaford community events?
Oh dear. Talk about being thrown in the deep end. Yeah, well, I just have a few words about we've got no video. Okay, well, I don't know whether you know this, but I think the Motorfest's been running now 4 years, and it's been extremely successful. I think it's one of the most successful events that that's run in Seaford during the summer season. And this year we're happy to announce that it's going to take place on Sunday, the 24th of June, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning and going on until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's on the Martello Fields in Seaford. Some of the activities that you can see down on the Motorfest are American classic and vintage custom cars, some really lovely bikes and trikes and scooters. We've got live bands, we've got a beer tent, thanks to Martello and thanks to Rotary. It's sitting at the back there. We've also got a fun fair, and we've got business and community stalls and hot and cold food. Now, it really is a great event, and I do recommend that you come along and visit it. And as I've been caught short, don't take that literally, please. That's as much as I really want to say. Thank you very much.
And the last presentation
Thank you very much to Seaford Town Council for their very generous donation towards this event, because without that money we would be hard pressed to run the event. So thank you, Seaford Town Council.
Thank you. Right, and the last large grant presentation is Seaford Musical Theatre.
Actually, I saw the next video was going to be like the yodeling kid. Let's have the yodeling kid back. So, I'm just going to start by singing you Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Now, the kids do that much better than me. Actually, hello. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, you saw the town crier earlier. He obviously had the beautiful projection of his voice, which I've taught him everything he knows, which is great. And I love to teach the children as well at Seaford Musical Theatre. I know it's my birthday, so it's not my age, but we are 91 years old this year. We started off as Seaford Operatic Society 30 years ago, became a musical theatre to incorporate more modern musicals. I'm sure they won't mind me telling you, but about 6 or 7 years ago, with dwindling audiences, the musical theatre, the Barn Theatre, looked like it was going to be heading for extinction. So what we did was, we brought in well-known productions like Grease, Annie, we've had wartime shows, and the most important thing I think we did, we were approached by the community cinema, who said they would like to restart within the Barn Theatre. And we said, yeah, that's brilliant. So they started off with only 6 films in their first season, about 5 years ago. They now run 42 films through a 6-month period. And they're having festivals like the Women's Cinema Festival that is coming up very shortly. So we produced this cinema in conjunction with them. One of the really nice things that the ordinary people, may I call you muggles? Those not involved with charities, I call you muggles, don't realise is the incredible partnerships within Seaford charity community. For example, with the Barn Theatre, we were paying for a professional company to come and provide first aid for us. And having a chat with the wonderful Pete William, who is at Seaford Lifeguards, I realised their people were actually more first aid qualified than the people we were bringing in from a company and paying. So we had a deal with the Seaford Lifeguards. Now, every production that Seaford Musical Theatre do, there is a first aider there from Seaford Lifeguards who will provide first aid. The only thing Pete's ever had to do is Snow White had a nosebleed once, and that was okay. He rushed backstage and sorted her out, the dwarf, and punched her in the nose or something. And at the end of every show, the lifeguards have a bucket and our audiences throw money in. And they actually make more money through collections than we were paying a professional company. So there's just one example there of the amazing charity connection that Seaford Charities have together. Now, when we went to the Barn Theatre 30 years ago, we were gifted some old chairs that were chucked out of the Theatre Royal in Brighton. They're still there today. They'd had them 15 years, then they gave them to us. Now we've had them for 30 years, so they've done well. They're horrible orange corduroy, they're falling to bits. They've had old ladies peeing on them, they've had kids chucking up on them. I won't even tell you some of the other things that have gone on in the audience, I mean, crikey. But they've had their day. So last year we applied to Seaford Town Council to see if they could come up with any money for us to replace the seating. And they gave us £700 towards our target. The target kept going up. We're using a local upholsterer, so keeping it within Seaford. And the bill kept going because we decided we wanted the top ones done and the bottom ones, and then we had the auditorium done. So in the end we had to raise £7,000. We're just holding the last fundraising event in June, which will hopefully net us our last £1,000 towards that, because it is going to be done when we shut down in August. And we've got a film called The Bromley Boys on the 21st of June, which is a charity VIP show starring Alan Davis, Martine McCutcheon, both of whom we hope to come down to the actual film showing at the Barn Theatre, so if you like either of those, hopefully they'll be down, and the screenwriter and the star Brennan McConnell, who's from Worthing. So that's hopefully the last chunk of money that we're going to need, so that when the Barn Theatre shuts down in August, when we come back in September with the community cinema, with our musical shows, with our junior section, with all the performing arts workshops we do for kids, it's going to be the most wonderful P-free auditorium you've ever seen. So thank you, Seaford Town Council. Thank you, people of Seaford, for keeping the Barn Theatre going, for the 80 children and the 40 adults and the crikey, about 6,000 people that come to the cinema there now every year, and we hope to see you at the Wizard of Oz next month. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Now we come to the Mayor's Awards. And I've already given one out to Ken and Julie Jupp. The next one goes to Maeve Maybe. Maeve has been raising money for various organisations for many, many years, and has raised thousands of pounds through raffles in recent years. Maeve has raised a large amount of money for the Royal Society of St George. So the society, I'm getting tongue-tied now, sorry. So the society can give gifts to various charities and organisations locally. So, Maeve, would you like to... The next award goes to Hilary Norsworthy. Hilary has been a church warden at St Andrew's, Bishopstone Village for almost 20 years, a task that she takes very seriously for a smooth running of this beautiful ancient church. Hilary is also a governor for the Churches Together. She also enjoys floral arranging, and you can see her work at flower festivals in our local churches. Hilary is now president of the Seaford Evening Flower Club after being a chairman for a number of years. So Hilary, would you like to come? Next award goes to the Rotary Club. During my term as Mayor, I've seen the work the Rotary does within our town, supporting organisations and local charities. They are also very involved with the young people, organising competitions, encouraging young people's skills, and these have been the Young Musician of the Year Award, the Young Writer of the Year, Young Chef of the Year, Young Photographer of the Year, and a Young Artist. Would you like to come up and receive the award? The next award goes to Brenda Edwards, the founder of Teddy Treats. This is relatively an unknown new charity. It was founded in 2014, and it provides special moments with disadvantaged children. They provide workshops for children and families, which include creative activities such as art, singing, dancing, drama, amongst some. And I think it's a very well worth charity, and it needs promoting. So, Brenda, would you like to come up? The next award goes to our past young mayor, Tom. I told you I hadn't heard the last of him. Tom is a great ambassador for the young people of Seaford. Tom saw the need for the wheelchair swing and made it his project to raise funds, which he has achieved. He has done this by organising a number of events, I called it Fun Day, it's not, it's a Seaford Magic Day. And his coach trips to Bluebell Railway for afternoon cream tea, which was absolutely delicious. Chichester Christmas Market and Hampton Court. All profits went to his wheelchair fund, and these events were so professionally organised by Tom. Over the last 2 years, I've seen Tom grow in confidence and stature. He is an inspiration to us all. I wish you all the best for the future. My last award is the Don Mabey Award. This award was named after a very special person, and he was it's in memory of him, and his wife has also received an award tonight. But he was a very special person, and he was also a freeman of this town. And this special award goes to someone who's been outstanding in our community. This special award goes to someone who has been exceptionally in his work for charity. This year will be his 10th anniversary of opening his garden to the public. He has raised money for 12 different charities. This year he will have exceeded over £100,000. The charity close to his heart is the Macmillan Cancer Support, and yearly he organises the Macmillan Garden Trail, covering gardens along the coast to Brighton. £53,817 of funds raised has gone into the newly built Macmillan Horizon Centre, Brighton, which gives support to cancer patients and family. For the last 6 years, he has organised the Mayor's Trail, which raises money for the Mayor's chosen charities. This in total has been over £12,000. Jeff Stonebank. So dedicated. He's inspirational. If you haven't been to his garden at Driftwood in Marine Drive, you must go. It's an oasis, and when you go around the back of his garden, you just get the wow factor. I also recommend his afternoon teas. And needless to say, he bakes all his own cakes. Where he finds the time, I do not know. I know he gets a lot of support from his partner Mark, and he has a band of volunteers.
Of which Linda is one.
It's a sheer joy to help Jeff, because the charities he has raised money for, and there's a lot of local charities in there too. And thank you so much for what you do.
Say that I have raised a lot of money, but the only reason I've been able to raise nearly £100,000 is because I've created a vehicle that other people then come and give me the money, people like yourselves. I can't open my own garden without the support of at least 5 people, so it's a vehicle that I've created. People credit me, but at the end of the day, you are the people that give me the money, you are the people that allow me to raise so much money for charity, so thank you very much indeed.
Right, now we move on to my charity check. The money I've raised through Jeff's help over the last 12 months to the Seaford Lifeguards. And can I have a representative from Seaford Lifeguards come up, please? And you can see that we have raised £4,011.72. Every penny, this money, goes to Seaford Lifeguards. Not a penny goes to administration. It goes to all their training, equipment, and they do such a wonderful job on our seafront to keep our seafront safe. I think they are recognised as one of the best lifeguards in the country, so well done. So we had some good fundraising events. We had a good quiz night here, and I had one of our local historians, Philip Popel, who did a history tour of St Andrew's Church and a cream tea afterwards. Why do I keep saying cream teas? And yes, so thank you all for supporting me, and it's been an amazing total. I'm so pleased it went over the 4,000. Thank you. Right, we are now come down to the questions and answers. So anybody would like to raise any questions? No, are we going to get off lightly? Okay, so that's the thing.
I was just going to remind people of the beach clean, which starts over half term. It's for children, and they've got to make a sculpture, and judging will be on Sunday, June the 3rd, Hollingshed Parade. And the prizes will be given by the young mayor and the deputy young mayor.
Yes. Right, now I've got another presentation. And it goes to Miss Holland, who has supported me over the last year. And without her, I don't think I would get to all the places I need to. Sometimes I have to rely on public transport, but no, the majority of the time she's always been there, and I've had the support of her and her husband Frank. So just a little something to say thank you. And I've got another bunch of flowers here, and that has to go to Sue, who was my PA for most of my mayoral year, and she has, and she has supported me and gone to all the events I've put on, and she has been a great support. Okay, right. All the award winners, can you come to the front and we'll have a group photograph. I also like to thank all the staff of the Town Council. Gemma, I think you've worked hard on this evening. You haven't been with us for very long, but you've done a grand job. And Georgia. Also to our town clerk, who did a fantastic presentation. And you're all quite welcome to stay on and have a drink at the bar. It's still open. One last announcement I've been asked is to, there is an open garden on Sunday at 13 Bowden Rise, in aid of St Wilfrid's, right? Okay, thank you. And hope to see everybody at the Mayor's Trail, which is in June, starting off at Jeff's, Driftwood and Marine Drive. There are 8 gardens, I think, isn't there, Jeff? 9. One more than last year. And which is a true good day. Right, I conclude this town forum, and it's 20 to 9. Everybody for coming, as I say, quite welcome to stay for a drink, and have a safe journey home.